Hi, Abdul. I'm very happy to see these essays from you. Great work. You know, it's so important to write and to get feedback for your writing in order to progress and improve your IELTS writing. So well done. Why don't we get straight into this video correction so we can see what you had to say. Okay. Let's see. Doing an enjoyable activity with a child can develop better skills. Okay. Some people think parents involving their children in fun-filled activities enhances, yes, their attributes and imaginative prowess more than reading could offer. In my opinion, I completely agree, as activities relating to sports and art and crafts are more beneficial to a child's development. Okay, fine. So far, so good. Firstly, when a child indulges in a sports activity, he or she inculcates vital skills that are required in one's life. Of these, the most critical are competitiveness, is the word you want here, teamwork, and grit. In the recent Harvard Review published last month, the author indicated that nearly 55% of employees who had spent their childhood in the sports realm had performed much better than their counterparts, as revealed in their annual review report. Evidently, owing to the merits, sports can enable a person to perform at his best potential in their career. Okay, fine. Secondly, arts and crafts activities has become very conspicuous in the present world. This is mainly because children are able to vividly visualize and think creatively. A recent medical report by NHS suggested that art and craft activities increase the brainwave frequency, resulting in higher IQ. For this purpose, many parents across the UK have been motivating their offspring, one word and no S, and to be honest, I'm not really a big fan of this word because typically when we see the word offspring, we don't think of humans, we think of animal children. So maybe a different word here. Just write children. It's not really that tragic. You haven't used it elsewhere in this paragraph, so it's fine. To utilize, careful with your spelling here, I think you're missing an I, their time creating artistic products. Okay. To conclude, despite the advantages of reading, sports, and art and crafts activities, despite the fact that, that's what's missing here, the advantages of reading, sports, and arts and crafts activities are far superior as they provide more dynamic skill range to a child that are demanded in the present. Wait a minute. Yeah, no, there's something missing here grammatically. You've got only fragments, but not a true sentence. So, I would get rid of the despite. Let's try it again. So to conclude, the advantages of reading, sports, and arts and crafts activity are far superior as they provide more dynamic skill range to a child that are demanded in the present society. Perfect. You just need to get rid of the despite. In the future, it can be predicted that with more scientific discoveries favoring such activities, there might be a shift in the current form of parenting. Fine. If I had to find one area that I wanted you to change in this essay, I mean, obviously the grammar and the vocabulary were all very good, as was the coherence and cohesion. You didn't really talk about reading and what benefits it has, and that for me is a problem. I think you should have. I mean, especially if you're aiming for a higher score. I think that you could have at least discussed the merits of reading and why reading might be better than some of these other activities. That, to me, would have created a more whole essay. But what you did write was very nice, so well done. Let's get into your second essay now. Okay, schools, should they educate or should they entertain? Let's see what you have to say. While some believe that schools should be more entertaining and joyous, others argue that their aim they should primarily aim only to educate children. In my opinion, schools should not focus purely on academics, as they may create stress and loss of interest in studying. Okay? Careful, because you're talking about schools. It should be they and they. Firstly, merely concentrating on education as a singular activity may result in a child being very mentally stressed. It is essential that students are exposed to some sort of a recess or break that can be entertaining. For example, many schools in the Middle East permit their students to watch films and informative documentaries by dedicating at least 5 hours a week. All right. You don't really dedicate, but okay. Permit by setting aside. Well, all right, fine, dedicating. Okay, fine. As a result, children have shown improved performance in their examinations, plural. I assume it's not just one examination. Secondly, it's often observed that many students lose interest in their academics. They believe that there needs to be a transition in the teaching methodology that can make the learning easier, faster, and entertaining. For example, many schools across the UK have implemented Smart Touch Board in every classroom. This has made education more interactive, whereby pupils have shown great enthusiasm in seeking knowledge. Therefore, as the world has been progressing, there is a necessity for setting a new trend in the teaching style. All right, that's nice. Yeah, fine. Okay. In summary, there are many benefits in including some entertainment in schools, as there is clear evidence, because evidence is uncountable, of a child's development in the long run. In the future, it could be said that schools would transform themselves as an institution bestowing... it could be said that schools would transform themselves as institutions bestowing students with many important traits rather than just book knowledge. All right, lovely. That's very nice. I might have wanted something just saying about the advantages of simply educating. Again, what I really would like here, especially for those of you aiming at the higher levels, is to also talk about the opposite point of view that you don't agree with. So rather than this model of firstly and secondly here, you could have spent a little time about saying the benefits of schools when they solely educate. All right, this is, again, if you're really aiming at one of those really, really higher band scores in order to get the task response you need. But on the whole, I like this essay. It was fairly easy to read. I can't say fairly easy. It was pretty easy to read. So well done. And for your first essays, in fact, I would say very well done. They were nicely written. So keep on writing, keep on practicing. If you haven't created an error correction list, do start one. And what you can do is you can correct the essays that you wrote and then add those errors to your error correction list so you can refer to them. And of course, send them all back to us with your next essays. So I should expect those in the next day or so. So with that, that's the end of this correction, and good luck with your writing.